Hello everyone. Today we are talking about 2 gram sodium restricted diet. This diet moderately restricts the amount of sodium which is recommended by RDA. According to American Heart Association, the recommended allowance of sodium is 2300 milligrams per day for healthy adults. This 2 gram sodium restricted diet is just few grams less than the recommended dietary allowance of 2300 milligrams. 1 teaspoon of salt is 2300 milligrams of sodium. About 1/3 of the sodium in our diet comes from the salt. The rest of the sodium comes from the other naturally occurring sources as well as processed and commercial foods. Sodium is an important mineral which is abundant in almost all of our foods and beverages. Did you know we require only 2300 milligrams of sodium per day, which is the RDA for sodium? But most of the Americans consume as much as 10 to 35 times more than the recommended dietary allowance of sodium, which is humongous. So what is the purpose of the sodium restricted diet, 2 gram sodium restricted diet? In some people, too much sodium intake from their diet can cause their body to retain fluids. More fluids in their body enables the heart to pump more blood. Extra fluids can also lead to swelling and edema. So what are the conditions for prescription of low sodium diet or 2 gram sodium diet? For people with hypertension and edema, the fluid accumulation caused by lot of sodium in the diet can make the blood pressure hard to control even with medication. For people with heart failure, too much fluid may put a strain on the heart. It can also be harmful for people with kidney diseases because your kidneys cannot eliminate excess sodium and fluid from your body as sodium and fluid build up in your tissues and bloodstream. Your blood pressure increases. Limiting salt intake helps to reduce fluid buildup and swelling in the legs. So what is the foods that needs to be avoided and included? So you need to avoid processed and prepared foods, beverages high in sodium, salt at the table or cooking. Allow fresh fruits and vegetables and meat. Dairy products are limited to 16 ounce. Only salt-free commercially prepared food are allowed in 2 gram sodium restricted diet. So we'll talk in detail about it in our next slide. So basically you have to stress the patients to consume more fresh fruits and vegetables rather than canned fruits and vegetables, and also fresh meat and fish, because the canned ones has preservatives in them which are again sodium. So always encourage your clients to consume more fresh fruits and vegetables and fresh meat and meat products. So what are things that needs to be avoided? All salted, cured or smoked meat or fish should be avoided. Grains and starches to avoid include bread with salted top, crackers with a salted top, cottons, canned packet beans, cottons, instant hot cereals. So all these contain high amount of sodium. So it's best you need to avoid all of them. And again the vegetables, as I told you, like the canned vegetables, They have preservatives. Again, a preservative has sodium in it. Pickles, and then spaghetti sauce, stewed tomatoes, tomato and vegetable juices, pizza sauce. So all of them has salt in it or sodium in it. But if you find them salt free, you can allow your clients to have them. And then condiments and seasonings that you need to avoid are like barbecue sauces, celery salt, and then the convenience and processed foods like biscuits, packaged dinners, olives, gravies, mixes, salted nuts, and all these things. So you have to avoid as much as the convenience and processed foods as possible. And then you have to be very specific about the sodium free and very low sodium. So these are the only two things you're going to allow. Sodium free is okay, very low sodium is okay. So besides this, nothing is okay. Like the reduced sodium is not okay. And then no salt should be added at all. No salt added at all. But sodium free and very low sodium food products are okay. Now read the labels carefully. So encourage your clients to read the labels carefully. So it is very important that you need to understand food labels. For some foods, the actual milligram of sodium may be given. For example, for every serving of granola, there is 95 milligrams of sodium. So one serving is like 1 ounce. So if you are having more than 1 ounce of cereal in your diet, then you're taking more than 95 milligrams of sodium. So make sure you read your labels carefully. Encourage your clients to read labels carefully, and when you're preparing foods, make sure you read the labels carefully. Like in an institution, while we work in an institution and while we prepare food for the clients, we make sure that we don't add any salt while we are cooking meals for them, and then calculate the sodium content of naturally available foods and avoid whatever been discussed so far. We avoid all of them while we are making meals to our clients in our institution where we are working as RDs. Staying away from sodium is just one important part of a healthy diet. Healthy eating is also like limiting your fat, sugar, and alcohol in your diet, and including a lot of fruits and vegetables, because you make sure you're giving a lot of fibers in your diet. And also, when you're reading your ingredient list, be careful to look at these words like sodium, salt, or soda. Even in the part of its name, you have to make sure there is no sodium or salt in it. So these are the important things you have to keep into account while reading the ingredient list. Now these are the challenges for the patients. Like you have to tell them like no to the salt shaker, no salt shaker on the table, no salt while cooking, and it's all better we experiment with lot of low or no salt herbs, spices, and seasoning mixes while we are cooking. Like we are in an institution where we are serving our clients with 2 grams of sodium diet. We make sure we include all these seasonings like black or lemon pepper, so make it more palatable for them. And and also these dried and fresh herbs, garlic or onion powder, so these things can be added while we make meals for them. So these are the things we recommend, and also these are the things we provide them in our institution, like when we provide a sodium-free diet to our clients. And it's best we sprinkle like fresh lemon juice over the vegetables instead of like adding salt. It'll be palatable. You can sprinkle a lemon juice just to give that salty taste to it. And season or marinate meat, poultry or fish ahead of time with onion, garlic and herbs before cooking, so that it brings out the flavor in it. And again, just make sure you don't see the name salt or sodium in the ingredient list while preparing food for the clients. And then how difficult will be for the patients to get used to eating a low sodium diet? Yes, initially it's going to be very hard for them. It is difficult to abruptly cut down on the amount of sodium in the diet, but our taste buds gets used to it slowly and gradually. So within a week or couple of weeks, they will get it there. So salt is like an acquired taste, and taste buds can be restrained in less than 1 or 2 weeks if people stick with a low sodium diet. So make sure you practice, make your clients practice low sodium diet, get used to it, so there won't be any problem. Encourage them to use fresh herbs, spice blends without sodium, citrus and flavored vinegar. Make it more tastier alternatives instead of salt. So let's look at the low sodium sample menu. As I discussed before, we always have to look at the like unsalted or low sodium in the ingredient list. So for a 2-gram diet, it's always better to look for very low or no salt free. So here we see, what we see is unsalted butter here. So in the breakfast, we are giving them 1 teaspoon of unsalted butter. So again, orange juice is good because it's 0 grams of sodium. Most of the naturally occurring fruits and vegetables are very low in sodium. And then when you look at this, you see like low sodium turkey bread. So again, it's okay. It gives you 465 milligrams, but let's see, like if you calculate the whole day's intake, we will see whether it falls below 2000 milligrams. And then if you look at the dinner, you find like evening snacks, afternoon snacks. So you find unsalted pretzels. So overall, it's coming to 1925 milligrams, which is great. So it's within the recommended needs. 2000 milligrams is recommended, 2 grams, 2000 milligrams. So this diet is providing around 1925 milligrams of sodium, which is great. Yes, so these are the references I made, and do please ask me any questions regarding. If you want to ask any questions, you can get back to me in the discussion forum and we'll talk about it. Thank you so much. Hope to get back to you in the discussion board and discuss with you regarding the low sodium diet. Thank you so much. Bye bye.